everybody, this is Sean B. Bradley. I'm on site at Bennett Chevrolet, and we are working with iMagic. Come take a look. All right, so I want to basically let all the new trainees know how to use the iMagic tool. iMagic is one of my favorite tools because of how easy it is to use. So now, the very first thing that I want you to do when you come into work is before you do anything at all, before you even look at this, you need to do your 3-minute book. You guys remember me talking about it. You just watched the video. I just went through the whole little training and I showed you the video, the secret. So first thing is you're going to spend 3 minutes, not 58 seconds, not 40 seconds, 1 minute for the first section of the 3-minute book. Then you turn it. Then it's going to be 1 minute for the second section and then 1 minute for the third section. The first section is looking at the things you want to acquire, the laws of attraction, manifestation, you know, the whole visual board, your vision board, so to speak. The second section of your 3-minute book is your roadmap, your pay plan, your how you're going to get to the things that you want. The third section of the 3-minute book is what? Your scorecard. You're going to measure, you know, all the metrics that Dealer Synergy teaches you. Now, after you've gone through your 3-minute book, this is like a chiropractic alignment. Every single morning or every single shift, you're going to do your 3-minute book first. After you do that, come here. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to look right onto here, the appointment board, okay? I do not want you to ever use the appointment board right here as like, you shouldn't have a list of all random phone calls or emails, okay? That is good if you're doing a product presentation, demo drive, delivery, if you're a salesperson or what have you. That's good if you were that and you needed to be reminded. But every day with the Dealer Synergy system, you have a certain protocol. Now, I don't know if you remember this, but there's 2 processes with Dealer Synergy. You've got the follow-up process and you have the engagement process. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Pam? Okay, good. The follow-up process is for the first 31 days, email, phone call, email, phone call. I'm going to repeat that. There's an overall blanket follow-up process that you get a fresh lead, and what you want to do is email, phone call, email, phone call. The good news is that you do not have to, at all, send any of the fresh emails. I don't want you to do that. The computer, the iMagic tool, is going to be programmed. Day 1, email template number 1. Day 2, email template number 2. Day 3, email template number 3. All the way through day 1 to day 31. You guys are aware of that?
No.
Okay, good. Yes, that's what's happening right now. It might have not been set up. Now that we're here, now that Dealer Synergy is on this and I talked to CISO, what's going to happen is this. Let's just say as of July 1st, okay? When you go in here, if a lead comes in, let's just say somebody's looking for a 2012, Chevy Malibu LS, right? If somebody's looking for a Malibu, the lead comes in from Cars Direct or Auto by Tyler or Auto USA or Dealix or whatever lead source provider, it hits your iMagic tool. It's automatically going to send the first email template. All you're supposed to do is make a phone call. Now the next day, if the person doesn't respond to you, you don't get them on the phone, the next day the computer's automatically going to send another email and you're going to make another phone call. The day after that, phone call, email, phone call, email. So again, even though I say that for the first 31 days, it's email, phone call, the reality is this, is that you as the appointment setter are only going to have to worry about the phone calls. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Now, I'll talk about all the what-ifs in a second, but now let's go back to here. So the first step is to look at this calendar and this organizer, and the things that should be in here are specifics. There should be things in here such as any type of test drive, any type of appointments, but you know what else you could put there? Reminders. Let's say you're talking to somebody and they say that, oh, you know what? I'm going to Atlantic City this weekend. You could set a reminder, hey, ask Mr. Customer how their trip in Atlantic City was. Hey, turn around and say, like if they said that they were sick, send a reminder on Monday to send an e-card. You see what this is? This is like a reminder board. If you need to do specific actions, does that make sense? Mm-hmm. If it's somebody's birthday, wish them happy birthday on that date. It's an organizer. It's a reminder board. How cool is that? Cool. Sales is about relationships. Personalize your engagements with your prospects. The other thing is that how many times has this happened already for you guys, and you guys are new, that you talk to somebody and say, oh, I can't talk now, call me back later, right? Yeah. Okay, you want to set specific actions. You set appointments for phone calls, for emails, for appointments, for reminders, for whatever. That's what this is. This is like a reminder board / appointment board. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, now, above and beyond that, what you also want to be able to do is, use logic. Who works here 9 to 5 or 9 to 6?
We all do.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Every day, or anybody work at night?
It splits up.
Everybody works both shifts, split shifts? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, for example, that you were the prospect and you keep calling somebody, like I mentioned to you, before 6. I mean, 5:58 doesn't count. The highest connection ratio on the phones is between 6 and 8 p.m. Okay, remember that. So if you keep calling somebody over and over and over again, what happens if you're calling somebody and you're like, damn, I called this person 32 times in the last 45 days. But what happens if that's his home phone number and you're only calling him during work time? Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter how hard you try, you're still not going to get a positive result, will you?
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so that's that. So now, come back here. Now we're going to go into deeper stuff. So, again, a recap. First thing you do when you come in is do your Deal with Synergy 3-minute book. The second thing you do is look at your organizer and kind of plan your day. Now what you're going to do is you're going to look at My Day right here. When you look at My Day, can you see this really clearly?
Yeah.
Okay, when you go to My Day, you see how it says urgent, response, follow-up, and past due? The Deal with Synergy protocol in the iMagic tool is in the urgent bucket. There's 21 leads there. I already know that anybody in here is 31 days or less with a phone number and has not had any verbal communication. Okay, responses are all the people that basically are responding to your automatic emails. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Or they've sent another duplicate lead and it's not merged. Everybody in follow-up is 31 days or less with a phone number and some type of verbal communication. Everybody that is in past due is day 32 to day 90. So now, you got to look at your iMagic tool, your CRM tool, like an amazing file cabinet. You could have one big file cabinet with one drawer, no dividers, no file folders, or you could have a 10 cabinet, file cabinet, all with beautiful file folders and color tabs to organize. Dr. Covey says from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, put first things first. You want to prioritize the way that you spend your time. Now think about this. Doesn't this make more sense? How much more, rhetorical question, how much more effective would you all be if you go on to your iMagic tool and what you do first is you look at what your day is, you plan, plot, etc., and then boom, you call your fresh, hottest leads. Why? Because NADS has a direct correlation between your response time to your closing ratio. The faster you respond to your leads, the higher your closing ratio is. So I want to handle those first. Now, the second, in my opinion, most prioritized engagement is the people that are responding back to you. And the people are saying, hey, I want this, I want that. Then engage them, right or wrong. The next hottest prospect are people that you've had some type of verbal communication with, right? Mm-hmm. Now, how do I know that? Because, team, we talked about this earlier before. I said, what loud so they could hear you because they're not looking at you, right? What is the hardest part of your job?
Give them on the phone.
Mm-hmm. Did I set you up for that? Or is that an off-the-cuff question? Off-the-cuff question. Right. That's the truth. So if the hardest part of your job is getting somebody on the phone, why are you going to spin your wheels first on people that you can't even get on the damn phone? Versus people that are contacting you or people that are what? That you've had contact with. How much more effective would that be for you guys? Make sense?
Yes.
So that's what I want you to do, is I want you to get into a rhythm. I want you to get into a cadence of when you come in, boom, you're going to look at after you do your 3-minute books, you're going to look at your appointment board, reminder board, then you're going to go, boom, right into your fresh leads. So in the iMagic system, these, even on point of urgence, you only handle your red urgents. You leave all the other black urgents alone. You skip all the urgents, even though that's the first bucket. You skip that, you go to responses. After responses, you go to follow-up. After follow-up, then you go to your black urgents. Then after your black urgents, you go to your past due. And then if you get through the day, then you start over again. Mm-hmm. Any questions about that?
No.
Does that make a hell of a lot more sense?
Yes.
Do you think that's going to help you a little bit be more successful, more, higher ratio on the phones? Mm-hmm. What's the time check? Don't stop.
8:49.
Perfect. Now, remember I said before that there are 2 processes in Deal with Synergy. There's a follow-up process and there's an engagement process, right? Mm-hmm. What we're trying to do is this. You only have about an 11 to 14% connection ratio on the phones, okay? You only have an 11 to 14% connection ratio on the phones. So that means if you call 120 people in a day, you're only going to get 14 to 17